You're tuned in to the 44th New Zealand Drag Racing Nationals, direct from Fram Autolite Dragway, Meremere. The Nationals marked a final chapter in the 4-round National Drag Racing Series and boast bracket racing from mild to wild, from 2 wheels to 4, and everything in between. Saturday was qualifying day and saw racers make their way to Meremere from far and wide, lining up for their shot at a golden ticket to finals racing. As the race teams get set for Sunday's elimination rounds, track officials make their final track preparations. Well, it's the biggest fields we've seen all season, as you would expect for the grand finals. Top alcohol, where's your money?
Probably going with Marsh, although it's very, very close at the pointy end of the field. We saw an amazingly close race yesterday, very close to a personal best as well, so we're in for a treat today, I think.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Chris Johnson is going to keep Anthony Marsh very honest. In top door slammer, Wayne Yebury came out qualified number 1, but it's a big field.
It's a big field and it's a very close field. The top 5 are just so close to each other. There's just a very small margin of error there.
We saw a world record again for Robbie Ward with his front engine dragster. Karen Hay in competition eliminator. She became the fastest female drag racer in New Zealand, a record that stood for 22 years. And then, of course, there's Sports Compact. They're performing faster and faster every season, aren't they?
Sports Compact is a huge class and just the variety is really good to see, and they're again very close to each other, and there's a lot of competition. And
one of my favourite classes too is the competition bike. Those guys just make it look so easy, and I don't envy them because the track is going to be good out there and you don't have a lot of forgiveness on 2 wheels, but they are doing personal best times and records will roll again. I have no doubt about that.
They're trapping at very high speed, and when you fall off on concrete you don't bounce very much.
Yeah, that's something we don't tend to encourage, the falling off bit, but we are looking forward to eliminations and action aplenty. Let's get into it. Jack Perry Towing Services bring us Super Street Division, which is made up of street legal cars, warranted and registered. The racing format is dial your own, where the racer nominates the time they expect to do, then they have to run as close to that time as possible. Super Street Racing, an entry level to Drag Racing New Zealand. Quarterfinals of Super Street sees Jody Lewis in the Chevy-powered Nissan up against Paul Berridge here in the Camaro. Head start for Paul Berridge, slower dial-in time. Jody Lewis is doing the chasing. Now the penalty, if you go faster than your dial-in time, is you break out and you lose the race. Exactly what Paul Berridge done. Crossed the line first, but broke out. Win goes to Jody. Dean Logan in the Tirana Ute is up against Margie Paris. Now she has committed a sin. You see on the bottom of the start line tree a red light. It meant Margie left too soon. Automatic victory for Dean Logan. The race on the track is irrelevant. So Dean Logan will know that and cruises through with an 11:49 winning time and into semi-final. With 5 cars in the quarter-final round, 1 car has to have a single pass. It is Nick Olsen in the Plymouth has to complete the same number of passes as his opponent, so a single pass quarter-final run for Nick Olsen. New Zealand Hot Rod Magazine bring us Super Sedan Division, another dial your own bracket, but these are the quicker street cars. A number of the cars are still street legal, but they don't have to be. They're tech inspected for safety requirements and run quicker than 10.99 seconds. And those street legal cars are amongst the quickest street cars in New Zealand. Round 3 of Super Sedan, first up sees Dennis Lovegrove with a bye run. He earned a bye run by beating the number 2 qualifier. Although it's a single pass, Dennis is looking to run consistent with his 10.11 dial-in, and at the finish line, he runs a 10.24. Our next pair sees Mark Hudson in the Ford-powered Capri up against the turbocharged Chevy HQ Holden. Mark Hudson is the first car away. The Ute is doing the chasing. As we look to the finish line, you can see Marty McSweeney trying to catch him, but he can't do it. Mark Hudson, too good, too close to that dial-in time. Our next pair sees Lee Sherwin in the Prosville Quartermaster, and that's Barry Rensford in the Dodge Challenger. A lot of history in this Challenger for Barry. He has been racing a number of years at Fram Autolite. As we see, again, the chasing car on the line. Look how close it is for Lee Sherwin, 9.35 on a 9.34 dial. The next bracket on the track is Tough Door Slammer, a Group 1 bracket that runs heads-up format of racing. That's where both races leave at exactly the same time, and it truly is the fastest car first to the finish line wins. Top qualifier from Saturday was Wayne Yearbury with a 6.88 at 209 miles an hour in the Waco Tools Studebaker.
Track's excellent, yeah, it's really good. The boys have done a good job on it, and it seems to be a bit of traction there. The run I did wasn't that fast, but it hooked up and did what it was meant to, so that's a good sign. So it's hard to get these short cars to actually go straight, so you need a really good track to get them to go fast with them.
First pairing sees Wayne Yearbury against the 55 Chevy of Craig Brown and Murray Smith. The burnout procedure, very important. Get those big, slick tyres hot and sticky. Maximum traction on the start line is what they're after. And early problems for Craig Brown. You see the 55 Chevy dancing around. Gearbox problems for them as they struggle to get to the finish line. Wayne Yearbury has gone. Let's have another look at it. The car dances around on the start line. They try to find another gear. You'll see the wheels come up here, but too little, too late. Wayne Yearbury has gone. Next up is Kevin McGregor in that beautiful Pontiac GTO. Now he has a single pass because Russell Lowe in a Camaro broke the engine during qualifying and are out of round number 1. But have a look at this car. It could be on rails, runs a nice straight 7.34 at 186. And the final pair in Top Door Slammer sees Trevor Smith in the Holden Statesman and Rod Benjies in the Chevy Beretta. But problems for Trevor Smith, and he would have been looking at gauges and would have seen oil pressure drop there. He's backed out. Single pass for Rod Benjies. Solid pass for Rod, 7.36 at 186. And our premier Group 1 division is the Arnott's Roadies Top Alcohol. Again, a heads-up bracket. These cars are running over 200 miles an hour every time they hit the asphalt. Whenever you're pushing race cars this hard, there is always breakages. And for Morris McMillan in the Roadies funny car, they damaged the transmission during qualifying. However, when you're pushing hard, you do get better performance, and we saw the fastest ever side-by-side alcohol pass in New Zealand. You've got a long-standing battle with that Marsh car on the other side of the lane next to you, and that would be, what, the second or third time you guys have had the side-by-side fastest alcohol race in New Zealand.
Yeah, definitely. We were the first pair of alcohol cars to run 5s together in the country. Then in the November meeting, we were the fastest side-by-side. I think he ran a 62, I ran a 73, and that one was his 51 versus my 67. So, yeah, no, all good.
So the track's obviously standing up to it because you guys are certainly going to test it, the horsepower you're making. Where to from here?
Well, that was, funnily enough, that was just a go out and dabble and see. So now I know what the track's like. we can change things around a wee bit and hopefully go a bit quicker.
The second half of our fastest side-by-side alcohol race, Anthony Marsh, you were busy out there.
Yeah, it was a little hairy. Run was good, but towards the finish line I kept my foot on a little bit longer than I should have. Got up to 275 mile an hour, which was a bit of a no-no. One chute came out instead of two for some reason, so we're just looking at that. And we'll try not to go off the end next time.
Yeah, well, it's a long weekend, and we don't want you to hurt anything, but that braking area would come up pretty fast at that speed, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it actually gets you. You don't realise how fast you go until you're trying to stop, unfortunately. So we're actually going to try to go faster this time. We want to try break our existing record of a 5:40. We want to try to a 5:39 at 2:73 before the finish line, not afterwards. So we'll see how we go.
Into eliminations now, and you've got to get it right. You lose here, you're on the trailer and going home. Here's Anthony Marsh with his first pass, a single in round one. And a personal best for the team. Look how hard that car launches. Trying to get into the next round, our next pair sees Chris Johnston in the dragster come up against Dave Gould in his brand new car, 34 coupe body, front engine altered. And another strong run from Chris Johnston. Dave Gould, with sorting out of a new car, sees Chris Johnston just drive away. 5:68 on the money for CJ. Our final race in round number one sees Bert King with a single pass. As we've mentioned, Morris McMillan in the funny car, broken gearbox. He will be going as hard as he can to maintain consistency. Wheels up for Bert King. Oh, look at the centre line, but a personal best. 6:1 to 2:23. And we'll be back after the break when the competition class heats up. Welcome back to the action at the 44th New Zealand Drag Racing National. It all starts with V, and V bring us Competition Eliminator. Another format of racing here, it is index racing. There is a wide range of cars in Comp Eliminator. To even up the competition, each car races against its national record or index. So we see a handicap start and some very close finishes. By running faster than your index, you are going faster than anyone else has with a similar power to weight combination. And that will win drag races. Well, the different faces that make up drag racing in New Zealand, Robbie Ward, the RB30 front engine dragster, the records keep coming, don't they?
Yeah, we're slowly chipping away at it. We got the world record 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we've just taken another 100th off it today, which doesn't sound like much, but it's baby steps. It does take a lot to get that little bit, so we're really happy.
It's a long weekend, and there's plenty of racing still to come. What's the plan from here?
Definitely, our goal is a 6. I mean, we've got plenty of power to spare. It's always just traction and wind conditions. It was a little bit gusty on that last one, got a little bit out of shape. A 6, if we can get a 6 this year, we'll be absolutely over the moon.
Round one for Robbie is a single run when Charlie Bates failed to fire in their lane alongside him. An easy 7:48 for Robbie. Well, the biggest meeting of the year, the grand finals. You've come all the way from Christchurch. Johnny Allsop, how's it going for you?
We had a few issues to start with, but we seem to have them under control. Had about 3 issues, actually, little problems, just niggly ones. It's really annoying when you come all this way, but seen on top to 7:18, which is pretty close to our personal best, so hopefully we'll go again this time, and 6 is our ultimate goal this weekend, so we'll see how it happens.
And here is Johnny Allsop in the Willie Scoop up against Doug Jeffries in the T-Altered. A strong pass from Johnny Allsop on a new PB, 7:03. And the number one qualifier in Comp Eliminator was Karen Hay with this record-setting pass, 6:65 at 206 mile an hour. That celebration is what the team do it for, Team Hay. A big weekend, looking to go faster. Okay, with me is the team of Lindsay and Karen Hay. Karen, the pilot, topsy-turvy year. You lost a crew member, but it's all going well for you this weekend, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this weekend we've just gone out and we've run a 6.65. I've got Shorty's name in my car and I think he helped us out today.
He was definitely looking over the shoulder. The tune-up, you're chasing a long record, Lindsay. You got the tune-up in there certainly today?
We hope so. We ran 6.6.65 and we want to run 6.6.29, so we'll put a bit more time in it and see what happens the next round.
A first round win for Karen Hay with this pass. Single run. They've certainly got the tune up. Look at that, 6.88 at 191. Harcourt's Real Estate bring us Sport Compact Division, the bracket of Japanese cars with Japanese engines. Small in engine displacement, these races get outstanding performance, such as the top of the bracket man Brent Curran, who has run a 6-second pass. Our first semi-final in Harcourt Sport Compact sees Brad Johnson in the early RX-7, and that's Paul Dowdle in the RX-8 from Christchurch. Clutch problems on the line for Paul Dowdle, so no more forward motion for him. It is all single for Brad Johnson in the RX-7. Have a look at his numbers, 9-1. But problems for Johnson as he gets in the braking area, hits the wall hard. And with clutch problems, Paul Dowdle, now Brad Johnson, both cars are out of competition. Our next pair will see Steve Rosen in the RX-7, and his opponent will be the hard-charging Brent Curran. Steve Rosen has run personal best this season. He'll be looking for one right now against the top man. But it's all Brent Curran, 7.18 at 195. Well, with Brad Johnson out early, you have to favour this man, Stu Lawton from Paraparumu in the Mazda SP20. Single pass for him on a mission, 7.82. Scrap Palace bring us competition bike, the top division of drag bike races in New Zealand. They also run the index format of racing, where they are racing against their own national record. And imported from America this season, the Suzuki of Bill Hamilton.
I had a couple of good runs, both almost personal bests, right on index. Been talking to Josh in the States, who I bought the bike from, and we're trying for a little bit more out of her, trying to get a lower than 8.4. Hopefully in this next run, just change a few parameters. We're going to give it best we can.
Now, you imported that bike at the start of the season, so it has been a whole season of learning and getting used to a new combination. Are you happy with the performances of it?
Yeah, as Josh told me, he said, look, Bill, you did 10 runs. I've done 10,000 runs. So I'm very hard on myself, but yeah, I'm getting much better at it. I'm actually messing around each one. I'm trying to get a little bit better. I got really stiff competition. Peter just ran a personal best, and so he's 2/10 under his index, and it's all index racing, and we got to go under our index. So we're gonna give it a go.
The top competitors in competition bike are this man, Ian Wilkins on a Kawasaki, and Laurie Webster also on a Kawasaki, the #1 qualifier. And it is Ian Wilkins in lane 2, closest to camera, that gets it wrong on the start with a red light, so an easy win for Laurie Webster. The second semi-final sees Pete Morrison on the Triumph up against Carl Finn on the Harley, looking for a place in the final. Is this pair, but you can see the Harley Destroyer of Carl Finn just rides on round him. Scrap Palace bring us modified bike. Now this is the bracket for the street legal bikes, and they also run on dial your own format of racing. Our first semi-final sees Alistair Galbraith on his Suzuki up against yet another Kawasaki of Ross Donaldson. But Alistair Galbraith goes too fast and breaks out a win for Ross Donaldson. Second semi-final sees the sponsor, Brett Scrappy Goodwin, on the Harley, up against the Harley man from Auckland Motorcycles and Power Sports, another great supporter of the bracket, Ray Pratt. But it is problems for Ray, so an easy win for Scrappy in lane 1, closer to his dial-in. Modified bracket is a bracket for competition cars that run on dial your own format. It is brought to us by Bogart Styling Lounge of Pukekohe. Our first pair of races in Bogart's Modified sees Rob Boyce in the Altered up against Trevor Watson. An interesting car, Trevor Watson, supercharged Peugeot-powered rear engine dragster. And you can hear Rob Boyce on the limiter as he went through the traps for a win, 9.23. And to complete the semi-final will be a single pass from Phil Grimmer. His big block 32 Ford Coupe looks the part, runs the numbers, into the final against Rob Boyce, 8.95. Let's take a look at some of the action in the very tough Super Street division as we make our way down to semi-final. To get this far, you have to be fast and consistent. And we see Nick Olsen in the Plymouth and Dean Logan in the Tirana. Well, it was actually the Plymouth that got to the finish line first, but he broke out and gave Dean Logan the win. And our second semi-final is a good time to have a single pass, Jodie Lewis. She just drives it leisurely to the finish line. She will meet Dean Logan in the Jack Perry Towing final of Super Street. Pick the pace up now as we get into semi-finals for New Zealand Hot Rod Magazine Super Sedan. A single pass, and again, another good time to get a single, isn't it, in the semi? Lee Sherwin in the Pro Jewel Escort. Lee Sherwin is going to meet the winner of this pair. That's the Camaro of Dan Lovegrove. And just waiting for the burnout, Mark Hudson in his Ford Capri. Well, Mark Hudson certainly got the jump on Dennis Lovegrove, a better reaction time, and it pays off at the finish line. Mark Hudson with a win, 10.19 at 1:24. Welcome back to Fram Autolite Dragway and the 44th New Zealand Drag Racing Nationals. We pick up the action now with Top Street Division. This is a bracket of purpose-built race cars that have full bodies. They look to all intents and purposes like street cars, but their performance gives it away. They are fast, they run index format of racing, so they are chasing national record performances. The number one qualifier in Top Street was this car, the Camaro of Russell Christopherson and Raymond Gubb. They meet Mark Anderson in the Charger in the semi-final round of Top Street. Let's have a look at the action. And it is the big cubes of Chevy for Russell Christopherson. A new record for them, 8.52, and a win puts them into the final. And they'll meet this man, Graham Carter, in the blown Chevy XJS Jag. Al Pizza Top Street always brings us wheel stands and performances like an 8.25 from Graham Carter. V-Comp Eliminator bring us this local derby. Karen Hay from Rotorua and Robbie Ward from Tauranga.
We've actually already won the championship without having to do anything at this round, so in that respect, there's no pressure, but we're really here to run sixes, but we obviously want to win the meeting as well.
Well, yes, Robbie has picked up the championship by accumulating the points on the rounds around the country, but Karen Hay would dearly love to win this race. She's going to have to work hard for it. On the line, Karen Hay gets it. Both record-setting passes. Karen Hay, 6.64. She should be happy. She's entitled to be. Although a Nationals win has slipped from Robbie Ward, He took the opportunity to take his RB30 rail out of the 7s and into the 6s with an out-of-competition run, 6.99 at 192. Well, it's about setting targets, Robbie Ward, and the team has had a long, hard weekend, but congratulations, 6.99.
Yeah, we finally got it. It's been a lot of hard work. On the run prior to the 6.99, we actually forgot to flick a switch and we were on low boost and did a 7.07. When we got back and realised, we knew that all we had to do was come back out straight away, flick that damn switch, and we had that 6. And I'll tell you what, oh, what a beautiful run, mate. It was hazing the tyres through the finish line, but I knew it was, you know. Oh, mate, incredible effort by the team, everybody, mate. It's just awesome.
Yeah, it was black tracking from where I was sitting, and they say the good ones are easy. Congratulations, the Rotorua Steel Structures in the 6s.
Yeah, mate, thanks to all my sponsors and supporters. Thanks to Link. Thank you, Rotorua Steel Structures. Danny, you the man. Thank you, Link. Everybody, just unreal, mate. We've done it, and I know we're going to be able to keep doing it.
Well done, Robbie Ward, and he drove the car back along the return road.
Yeah, we did. We said we'd drive it back when we did our first 6. 90-degree water temperature. Yeah, mate, it was awesome. That's a street motor.
Single pass in the semi-finals for Johnny Alsop in the Willys Coupe. He's seen the record go to Karen Hay. From now, okay, if the record's out of the question, you're going to go try and win the meeting?
Well, anything can happen, as I say. You know, it only takes them to break out and you're still in the ball game, so we'll just go as hard as we can and see what happens.
The car's going all right? No major issues you're thinking now?
No major issues at the moment. I think we've got them all sorted, so hope you haven't jinxed it.
On the line and set to go in the semi-final round, Johnny Alsop. Oh, that did not sound good. And the commentator's curse has struck again as they push the Willies off the start line. If they can't get that problem sorted out, Karen Hay has just had an easy final handed to her. Top door slammer time now, semi-final and the number 1 qualifier. Due to breakages in the field, sees Wayne Yearbury with a single pass. A slight hesitation on the launch. But still, Wayne Yearbury is into the final with a 6.81. He'll meet this man, Kevin McGregor, in the Castrol Edge Pontiac. Giving away a little bit of horsepower because it is a Pro Stock car out of USA. And a Pro Stock engine is carbureted, non-supercharged. Into the final, McGregor versus Yearbury. Semi-finals time for Arnott's Roadies is top alcohol dragster Anthony Marsh. The number 1 qualifier ran a 5.48 earlier today. Can he back that up? Launches hard and airborne, and he does it 5.43, 269 miles an hour, going quicker as the day progresses. The man that'll be well aware of the numbers that he's just seen on the track before him, Chris Johnston, his opponent in the semi-final round, Bert King. Chris Johnson gets the jump on Bert King. A better reaction time saw him leave first, and he'll be first at the finish line. Drag races start in New Zealand at 8 years old, and the Funtime Food and Amusement Junior Dragster Division is where they begin. The two divisions, 8 through 12-year-old, can run up to a maximum of 110cc, and they run dial-your-own format of racing, and they drive to the half-track mark, 1/8 of a mile. Once they get to 12 years old, they can go into the senior division, where they can have a 250cc engine or the Briggs & Stratton alcohol engine imported from the state that uses exactly the same alcohol as Chris Johnston or Morris McMillan. In the semi-finals, Mark and Cole West Stevens share the driving of this car, and Cole West Stevens put them into the final against this man, Brock Hodgson, in the Briggs Powered Dragster. On the other side of the ladder, he beat Corey Silk to take up the final. And Mark West Stevens with a higher dial in time, his first car away, means that Brock Hodgson is doing the chasing. And at the 2 foam blocks 8 mile mark, Brock Hodgson takes a win with an 8:07, beating a 15.5 for Mark West Stevens. Scrap Palace competition bike finals time. And certainly finding some form today is Laurie Webster on the 1000cc Kawasaki. His opponent in the final is Carl Finn on a Harley Destroyer. The bracket index sees Carl Finn with a head start at the starting line, but it is Laurie Webster chasing him down, both running record time. A win for Laurie Webster, 8:57. Scrap Palace modified bike final, and it is Scrap Palace's Brett Scrappy Goodwin on the Harley Chopper up against the Kawasaki of Ross Donaldson. Dial Your Own Racing in modified bike will see Scrappy first bike away, Donaldson doing the chasing. And Scrappy will get there first, but he breaks out going under his dial in time, giving the win to Ross Donaldson. Sport Compact finals now, Stu Lawton and Brent Curran, 2 of the gurus of rotor engine building in New Zealand. The raw horsepower of Brent Curran drives around Stu Lawton running a 7.20. Sport Compact is the new generation of racing and the probably considered gurus in rotary engines now. Brent Curran, congratulations on another win.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's been hard work the last month or so, just having problems with our new turbo setup, but yeah, finally got on top of it now, and it's pretty much sort of just bulletproof now, just running mid-190s all weekend, so it's good. I think it's our first win for the year, actually. Well, fortunately, but unfortunately.
Well, it was a good run to win, and it's interesting, your mile an hour is always up there, 195 miles an hour.
Yeah, we got the power, like we've got 204, 205 mile an hour horsepower, but we've got a lock-up clutch. There's no adjustability in the clutch, so we've got to change gearing like it's doing that speed at the 1,000 foot and not speeding up anymore. So that'll be next year's mission, put a clutch in it and go 680s, 205.
Work in progress, they say. Well, congratulations, and the Curran team can be happy tonight. A successful end to a successful season for the Curran brothers.
Yep, thanks, mate. Cheers.
Hot Rod Magazine Super Sedan finals time. The Pro Drill Quartermaster, Lee Sherwin. He's up against Mark Hudson in the Capri. Well, 19 cars started this division, so that is how tough it is to get down to the final 2. Dial Your Own format will see the Escort chasing the Capri. And a red light for Mark Hudson. The pressure was on. The red light foul at the start gave the win to Lee Sherwin and another championship for Pro Drill. Well, at the start of the season, Lee Sherwin, the Pro Drill team must have wondered, where do we go from here? You had rods hanging out the side of the engine, but you picked yourself up. Congratulations on a good win.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, we didn't have the best start of the season. We wanted to really sort of carry on from last year, and where we sort of won pretty much everything and won the Nationals then as well. But yeah, the engine blow up and then missing a couple of meetings really sort of set us back. But then we just could have packed it in, but Dad's passion, we sort of carried on and got the bits together, and here we are now, winning the final of the Nationals. You can't ask for much more,
Yeah, there's a lot of history in your team, because your father, Plank Sherwin, been on the start line for a number of years, but there's a lot of history in that car too, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. It's been around, well, it's probably 10, 15 years older than me, since the 70s, since the track opened, Meremere, and we got it out and dusted it off and got it back running, and we've been campaigning it for about 4 years now, so yeah, and she just goes good every time, and can't ask too much. And just thank Limbo for giving it to us, and we just freshened her up, and here we are.
Oh yeah, I'm still happy with being involved with drag racing. I campaigned this car early, and we've won quite a few championships with it, Nationals. So yeah, it's happy to see the young boys doing it.
The Nationals, the big grand final, how important is it winning at this meeting in front of your home crowd?
Oh, it's very important. Not just for us, but for our sponsors and our crew, everyone that's helped us out during the season. Good to do it at your home track with friends and family coming down, And I think the best part about winning is being able to, do stuff like this and be able to thank the people that have helped you get here, and the sponsors and the fans, and the crowd, it's great today, and that's what it's all about.
It is the finals at the 44th New Zealand Drag Racing Nationals, and we have been treated to the best racing, the closest racing, the toughest racing, in the biggest fields and the fastest times all season here at Fram Autolite. Our next final on the track is the Bogart Styling Lounge Modified, the competition cars that race on DYO format. And Phil Grimmer in the 32 Coupe has a dial-in time of 8.9 seconds. For Rob Boyce in the Altered, his dial-in time is 9.15. Those are the numbers that they will race against. But a red light foul on the start for Rob Boyce. He has given the win to Phil Grimmer. Despite Phil Grimmer having problems at mid-track, a red light foul. Lane 1 win. Phil Grimmer, 10.27. And you can see there for Phil Grimmer, a little bit out of shape at mid-track. Didn't matter. A win is a win. Moving into our top street final, brought to us by Hell Pizza and the car that has certainly set the field alight, Russell Christopherson and Raymond Gubb. Their opponent will be Graham Carter in the XJS Jag. But problems for Carter. You can see track officials looking underneath an oil leak, so it will be a single pass for Russell Christopherson. And it's a record-breaking 8:54, 159 mile an hour win. Super Street sees Dean Logan in the Tirana. First car away is Jody Lewis is doing the chasing. The handicap from the dial-in time sees a very tight race at the finish line. Dean Logan 11.74, Jody Lewis second 11.1. And we saw this earlier as the Allsop Willys Coupe got pushed off the start line in the semi-final round, and the ignition problem is unable to be fixed. So it is a single pass for Karen Hay to win the New Zealand 44th Drag Racing Nationals. She has had a magnificent day running personal best and set a new Double B altered record. Both her and Johnny Allsop were chasing that record, both Double B altered cars. She's driving the final as if it's a paired race and runs a 6.69, 208 miles an hour for Karen Hay, ending a magnificent weekend. As easy as you like, the team are very, very happy with that performance. Karen Hay, a Nationals championship and personal best. P&I Pasco, cartage contractor, top door slammer finals time. These are the semi-finals from Kevin McGregor, 7.30, 185 in his single pass, and Wayne Yearbury in the Studebaker. He netted a 6.81 to 21. They will take their places in the P&I Pasco door slammer final.
Anyone can beat you on the day, that's the thing, you know. I mean, you only got to be just a little bit slow somewhere and anyone can beat you, you know. So everyone's a threat. Just because you're top qualifier doesn't mean that you're not going to have a problem of your own. And in fact, you know, once we crank the power up and have the car on death, anything can go wrong.
Well, let's look to that P&I Pasco final and the burnouts. Very important part of the start line procedure for race cars. They have to get those rear slicks hot and sticky to adhere to the track surface. The crew members will then guide them back to a specific part of the track where they have just done that burnout, because that is the cleanest, hottest and most sticky part of the start line. You see the crew members there just spraying some antifreeze into the air intake. Good launch from both races on the start line. But problems for McGregor. Wayne Yearbury gets a single pass, runs a 6.78. Wayne Yearbury, they both left well, both had a 0.0 reaction time, and that's what they want on the start, but it's all Wayne Yearbury at the finish line. And the old master does it again. He has the ability to dial the race car up to run the numbers he needs to win the championship. And it is the Arnott Roadies Top Alcohol most anticipated final of the meeting. To get there, we saw Chris Johnson beat Bert King in an earlier round. Anthony Marsh ran a personal best 5.43 in his semi-final run to take up that final. A happy team sees a tight final ahead. Now that Harcourt's car has been a little bit of a nemesis for you this season. He keeps getting the jump on you on the light. Is that something that you're going to focus on, or do you think you've got the horsepower to drive past him again?
I'd rather beat him on the lights than at the finish line, to be honest. CJ is my Achilles heel. If I beat him on the start line, I'm happy, because usually we've got enough to go around him, but beating him on the start lines means a lot more to me than beating him at the finish line, to be honest.
Yeah, and this is the biggest meeting of the year. How important is it to get the former New Zealand #1 back in the winner's circle?
Yeah, it would mean a lot, actually. CJ beat us at this meeting last year. We won the championship, but he won the Nationals. So this year he's looking like winning the championship, so we want to take the Nationals.
And that's what it's all about, the Roadies Top Alcohol Final. This is showtime. The two best cars in the country on the best track in the country at the biggest meeting of the country. Anthony Marsh in the Mount Shop Dragster, Chris Johnson in the Harcourt's Vernon and Vasey, Harcourt's Hauler they call it. Chris Johnson the master, Anthony Marsh the apprentice. Let's have a look. Well, Marsh had all sorts of problems at mid-track and he was trying to drive him down, but he couldn't do it. Chris Johnson takes the win at the finish line with a 5.70. The team of the Harcourt's Vernon and Vasey Dragster very happy with that performance. We saw a near-perfect run from Chris Johnson and Marsh with all the problems all over the track. Plenty of fuel out of the left-hand bank. Problems for them, but a happy and jubilant Vernon and Vasey Harcourt's team. Well, it has been a fantastic season for the Vernon Vasey Harcourt's Dragster. Chris Johnson, how are you feeling right now?
Pretty damn good, actually. Yeah, awesome. To win the series and then to win the Nationals as well. You can't ask for any more, you can't top it, and the car's still in one piece.
Yeah, you came into this meeting with a healthy lead in the point series, but you still had work to do. You had to get through the rounds and then to win the final, that is just cream of the cake, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the icing on the cake, that one. Yeah, they're a hard bunch to beat, but I don't think they've beaten me in the Nationals yet, and I'm trying to hold them off for as long as I can.
Yeah, the young Tiger was going to give you a go for it. But the Harcourt's team, Vernon and Vasey Dragster, where do you go from here?
Oh, well, I'll just have a think about what we've achieved this year over the winter, and I want to change a couple of little things, nothing major. We're still working through this new blower combination, so we've still got a bit up our sleeves yet.
Yeah, you're a little bit unique in your engine combination. Tell us a bit about that choice.
Yeah, well, I think there's not too many people around the world that run Chevys, especially around a top alcohol format. And I think the world record at the moment is 5.65, so we're only 200ths away from the fastest Chevy in the world. So that's what I really want to achieve.
Well, it's been a huge weekend here at the 44th New Zealand Drag Racing Nationals at Fram Autolite Raceway. New class records, several personal best runs, and the quickest side-by-side races the country has ever seen. We witnessed the world record 6.99 from an RB30 Nissan engine-powered race car. And, best of all, we get to do it all again next year. Thanks for watching.